everyone, the one MFP here. I hope you're all having a great day today. Today I'm going to be reacting to some RM. So essentially I put out a reaction to BTS's live performance on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, their performance of Idol. An individual by the name of Jennifer left a comment stating that RM of BTS would be putting out a mixtape on October 23rd. Now it turns out that mixtape was released on October 22nd. I actually tweeted about it moments ago, and I have the mixtape, but I won't be reacting to that today. Main reason for that is I couldn't find any English translated lyrics, which makes sense, the mixtape just came out. So what I'm gonna be doing, seeing as this is RM's second mixtape, I'm gonna go ahead and react to his prior mixtape. His first mixtape came out in 2015. It goes by the name of RM, I believe, which is his name, Rap Monster. So I'm gonna go ahead and react to that, and it should give me a bit more of a backstory on RM. As you guys may know, if you've seen any of my prior BTS reactions, I'm very new to BTS, I'm very new to K-pop. So reacting to this first mixtape by RM should give me some solid groundwork to build off of when I do listen to the second mixtape. So I'm very excited, let's get into it. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name's Matt, I post reaction videos on this channel, so if you enjoy that type of content and you like this video, please take the time to check out some of my other reactions, and if you enjoy those, please subscribe. I always appreciate the support. So here we go, BTS's Rap Monster's first mixtape, song number 1, Voice.
난 꿈이 없었지 내 가사처럼 맨날 그런 shit 내게 답을 주지 못했던 함수와 방정식 그것들은 결국 수많은 해가 되었네 뒤도 없이 하나 된 것 같은 숫자 노름에 종이를 매달려 난 그저 성공하고 싶었어 남들에게 지겹게 들었던 말이 그것뿐이었어 행복이란 신기는 거기 잡혀있을 줄 알았지 하지만 좀 베이스에 맞춰서 내려가던 나의 정체 성적을 받을 때와는 다른 숨쉬는 느낌 1등을 해도 내 마음은 늘 편치 못했었지 남들이 원하는 걸 꼭 원할 필요 있는가 한평생 한이 담긴 한숨 쉬며 살기보다 하는 손가락질에 내 얄팍한
This feels like a spoken word intro.
모두에게 주는 건 내가 어떤 모습일지라도 5만원짜리 마이크로 여전히 방학현에서 혼자 만드는 내 믹스테이프 Some say I'm fake 그래 인정한다 나의 흑역사 변명할 수 있지만 안에 다시 그딴 일 없을 거야 Yeah I'll be real 이 순간 내가 절실히 바라던 ill 지금 take it if you don't wanna piss me 오직 음악으로 말해 딴 분야 따윈 일 없지 If you really think you're ready to fly You're my power This is what all is about Feeling the time is now 난 몰라 나의 목소리에 볼륨을 켜와
Nice switch up.
알 수 있게 볼륨을 켜와 알 수 있게 내게 닿을 수 있게 알 수 있게 내게 닿을 수 있게
So that was the first song, and with me not being super familiar with RM, I'm not completely sure where this mixtape is going to be going, but the feel I got from this song is we have a bit of an intro here. He's using his voice to reach to you, the listener, and it sets the stage for where he's going to be coming from throughout this mixtape. He's going to be giving you something personal, and the pianos, the instrumental fits that very well. But let's get into the lyrics a little bit. He starts this off talking about his sorrow. He didn't have any dreams, and functions and equations couldn't give him an answer. So the way I see this is he was living life in a calculated way. With functions and equations, I'm thinking mathematical, so precision. And the issue with that is he felt restricted. And then with that in mind, he says, in the end, those things became uncountable injuries. So in trying to fit a certain standard and trying to appeal to a certain image, he ended up hurting himself. He follows up by saying, I just wanted to succeed. The words I tediously heard from others were only that. I thought I could catch the mirage known as happiness, but the me in front of my desk wasn't happy for even a moment. What I'm getting out of this is he was hard at work. I'm guessing here he's talking about him in school. When you're younger, you're working towards a future, so you work really hard in school to get those good grades. And what makes me think of that is the fact that he's mentioning desk. I'm guessing he's talking about his school desk. I just wanted to succeed, so what he was aiming for was success. As of yet, it's not clear if he's talking about success in the music world or if he's talking about just success in general life. But it seems here he's saying that that, you know, no matter how hard I worked at school and no matter how much I tried to convince myself that my hard work would pay off in the long term because it would lead to success, I just wasn't happy. The next lines are, without my mom knowing, I put a sheet of white paper between the pages of my workbook. So he was already thinking about music at this age, I'm guessing, because the white paper, he wrote lyrics on them and he hid them in his workbook, so it seemed like he was working. But all in all, he was so passionate about his music and his poetry and his lyrics, he couldn't get his mind off of that even when he was working on schoolwork. Now the next lines are, my identity that I wrote down matched the drum and the bass, a different, relaxed feeling compared to when I got my report card. Even when I was number one, my heart couldn't relax. Is there a need to want the things that others want rather than living an entire life while sighing breaths full of Han? And there is a definition for Han at the bottom of the page here. Han is a Korean concept, like a persistent feeling of sadness and melancholy. So what I'm getting out of what RM is saying is he's talking about the fact that he worked really hard in school, and he's saying even when I was number one, my heart couldn't relax. So he was number one at a certain point. That wasn't a relaxed feeling. He didn't feel fulfilled by being number one. If anything, it just made him more stressed. But writing his lyrics, he found himself a little more. He was able to see his identity, and it matched the beat of a drum and bass. His writing made him realize his love for music. I chose to live a life of stripping away my Han and breathing easily. Everyone pointed at me, surrounding the weakened me. So he decided to pursue music. The result of that was people were judging him. But ultimately, what made him choose this life in the first place is he realized that the success with him just working hard towards whatever job it was he was aiming for other than music, it was just leading to stress. So he decided to relieve himself of that stress, and that's what led him to music. So he doesn't care what people think. He doesn't care if they think that he's making a wrong decision. He doesn't care about their judgments. What matters to him are his dreams, and his dreams are what give him a voice. And thus we have the title of the song. Even if you curse me, it's good, because in the end you'll find me again. Yeah, even as 7 years passed with a mic worth 50,001, still making my mixtape by myself in one corner of my room. Some say I'm fake. Okay, I admit it, my dark past, I could justify it, but I won't. So that's the kind of problem that won't happen again. Yeah, I'd be real. In this moment, the things that I want the most acutely, the pedal that I stepped on for 7 years has finally been oiled. So it seems like by this point in 2015, he had made the decision to pursue music 7 years ago at that point. And he's saying, yeah, people judged me back then when I made that decision, but here I am 7 years later, still making my mixtape in my corner, still doing what I love. And some will support their claims using his dark past as leverage. He's saying, okay, you guys have that, and I could justify that, but I won't. But I could tell you for a fact that those problems will not happen again. In this moment, I found what I want. And because I found that desire, I know what I want and I know where I'm headed. And then we have this section where he's saying, raise my voice's volume up, so you can know, so I could reach you. So again, we have another mention of the title of the song, voice, and he's saying he's raising his voice so he could reach you, so he could reach the audience, he could reach the listeners. Now the thing about a raised voice is it's a sign of confidence. So expression-wise, when you're speaking low, it's because you're hesitant. When you're speaking loud, it's because you're confident. You don't mind everybody hearing you because you're confident in what you're saying. So now that he feels this desire, now that he knows what he wants, and now that he's confident in himself and what he's trying to accomplish, he's comfortable raising his voice. He's comfortable with his past because his past led him to where he is today. And that's what I made of the first song off of RM's Rap Monster. Now let's get into the second song, Do You.
세상에서 자기 개발서가 제일 싫어 이렇게 저렇게 하는 게 so 니들 다 죽대는 보나 말아 잘 믿어 그러니까 그게 소리들이 베스트셀러 걔네들이 너에 대해 무엇을 알지 너의 꿈 너의 취미 이해를 하니 눈치만 돌아봐도 바뀌는 건 참 많지 주인으로 태어나면 노예가 되려 하니 얼마나 순간 바보 되니까 fuck that You're the only one never 완벽하진 않아도 한정판 level 저기 누군가를 탐내게 됐어 그니까 넌 그냥 너를 해줘 Do you, do you, do you, so you, do you, do you, do I'm not pop, I'm not rock, I'm not funk, I'm not R&B or hip-hop 아직도 뭔지도 모르는 애도 전부 다 팔아고 있봐 심한 스킬이 진 힙합이 아니야 그럼 A7 힙합이 아니야 이게 A7 칸에보다 더 힙합에 공하고만 쓰면 똑같아 패션 홍대 가면 괜히 바지 내리는 것도 대신 네가 입고 싶은 대로 입어 that's right, that's it 유행 따라가도 good 손안 안 달라도 good 강인 주체가 훌 원래 모두 처음부터 맞고 틀린 건 없어서 각자가 좀 다른 boy Hands go hate and please don't play Do you 아니 뭐 파도 품면 있다는 걸 매번 장소 날아야 하는 법 누가 시비를 다 쓰고 말이 좀 포장하는 썩은 스킬에 엄마보다 내게 난다는 걸 누가 누구보다 랩을 잘해 누가 누구보다 이게 난내 fuck that I am just doing my thing 그러니까 너도 그냥 네 걸 해 Just doing me just doing me 넌 곁에 누구였니 doing me just doing me 넌 곁에 누구였니 그래 우리 친구였지 난 저럴 때 난 저럴 때 do you do you do you do you do you do you do you
Okay, so that was Do You. And this comes off as a song where he's telling you to do whatever you want, which makes sense with where he was coming from in Voice, because in Voices he was talking about trying to follow that path that most decide to walk down. You know, just trying to please everyone in their surroundings. Well, he's saying, forget about that, do you. Because in breaking out of that mold and really finding himself through his lyrics, he was able to achieve self-fulfillment. And now he feels more confident than ever. He feels more happy than ever. So it seems like what he was going for in Do You is, you know, if this made me happy, maybe you should start thinking about yourself as well. That's not to say just give up everything. Just take the time to actually think for yourself and think about yourself. Don't just listen to everyone around you to decide who you want to be. Put the time and effort into trying to find yourself. But let's go into the lyrics for this song. I hate self-help books more than anything in the world. They tell us to do this or that. They have no backbone and believe others' words. What do those guys know about you, your dreams, your hobbies? Can they understand? If you look less at wits, there are a lot of things that change. You were born a hero, why are you trying to become a slave? So RM dislikes self-help books. The reasoning behind that is they're telling you how to live a life. And that fits what he's been saying about trying to live up to expectations, about trying to follow other people's advice and using that advice to create an identity for himself. He found that that led to him losing himself. He ends that with, you were born a hero, why are you trying to become a slave? You were born an individual with your own powers, so to speak. You have your own qualities that are unique to you. Why are you trying to use other people's advice? They can't be you. So at the end of the day, you're going to be trying to fit a mold, and that mold just doesn't suit you. These people don't know about you, so they can't relate to you. They can't tell you what's best for you. They could tell you what's best in general, and you're going to be living up to what's best in general. But at the end of the day, perhaps you could bring something to the table that's different from what is considered best, and people will see that as above what people generally consider best. The way I see it, self-help books are out there to be used as a guide, a reference. Words that allow you to figure out ways to get you in your zone, to figuring out yourself. I don't think it's necessarily made for you to follow A to Z, but you know, sometimes you give somebody a guide, they're gonna follow it to the T. They're not gonna be thinking about themselves, they're gonna be thinking about replicating what this book is talking about. And I think that's what he's referencing here. And the response to the "you were born a hero, why are you trying to become a slave" line is because it hurts. It's youth. That kind of definition is the biggest problem. In life, a genre is a trap, just like music, because you become an idiot as soon as you're tied down there. Forget that, you the only one ever. Even if you're not perfect, you're limited edition. Anyway, someone wants you, so just do you. So what he's getting at here is one of the fears about just allowing yourself to be you and be unique. One of the issues that comes with that is this fear of, are people gonna like me? He's saying no matter who you are, somebody out there likes you. You may not be perfect, but you're limited edition. I think that's a really cool line. He's saying that objects are made with a certain idea in mind, a certain vision. So when that vision is executed properly, you mass produce it, and thus you mass produce these perfect objects. But then they release a smaller group of these objects that are limited edition. Basically, there's a limited number of these that are released to the world, and they're unique, so to speak. They're harder to come across. He's saying that if you live your life this way, live your life trying to be yourself, you will stand out from the crowd as everyone is trying to fit a certain mold, a certain image. If you're just you will be unique and you will stand out. And that's part of the reason people will like you anyway. And then as he progresses through the song, he starts talking about the industry in general. He's saying, I'm not pop, I'm not rock, I'm not funk, I'm not R&B or hip hop. All the kids who don't know what they are yet, skirt and skinny jeans, that's not hip hop. So is ASAP not hip hop? Are you more hip hop than ASAP or Kanye? Like I said, fashion will soon be passion. Just wear what you want, how you want to, that's swag, that's it. If you follow the trends, that's good. If you're totally different, that's good. Just you yourself is hood. Originally, everything from the beginning, there was nothing right or wrong. Just that various things are different. Haters gonna hate and players gonna play. So I like that he does this. He's saying that some of the critiques that are coming his way is that he's not hip hop And, you know, as a rapper, that's generally the genre that's associated to you, hip hop. He's saying people are saying he's not hip hop because he wears skinny jeans. So he takes another rapper, he says ASAP. I'm guessing he's talking about ASAP Rocky, and he's saying, is ASAP Rocky not hip hop because he wears those kinds of jeans? And basically he says, I pay that no mind. He's saying that passion is what fashion should be thought of. It shouldn't be about what you're wearing. If you wear what's trendy, that's cool. If you wear something different than what's trendy, that's cool too. It doesn't matter. No matter what, there will be variety. All that matters is how much you care about what you do and how much of yourself you put into what you do. And ultimately, that's what this song is about. Figuring out what you want to do and doing just that. Not looking at what's popular and trying to replicate that to be successful in your own rights. Just figuring out what you like, what you want to do, and fulfilling that dream. And in doing so, you will be unique, you'll be happy, and you will stand out, according to RM. And that's what I made of Do You. Now let's get into song number 3, Awakening. Idol. This is where it all started. Beautiful outro to that song. That was Awakening. The song starts off with its chorus. In the moment of my failure, will someone hold my hand? In the moment when I come down from the stage, will that person be next to me? Just tell me that I can survive. In this cold world, just feel my vibe. I know one day at a time, the sun gon' shine. At this point in this project, he's talked about having to give himself to music. You know, it was hard to make that decision to start just because he was working so hard towards a certain vision, a vision of what people see as perfection, the right things you need to be doing in order to achieve success. And he broke away from that mold and tried to do something completely different. And that thing that was completely different was his music. And one of the things that led to is criticism, because, you know, in breaking away from what people label as success, people are going to start looking at you a certain way. And he's saying in his moments of failure, when things aren't going so well for him, will someone still be there to hold his hand? So now maybe he's seeing that, okay, I have all these people who don't agree with what I'm doing, and I don't mind so much because I am doing what I love, I am doing what I want to do, but I also can't deny that there will be some bad days. Will somebody be there for me when I have those bad days? Or has the world just turned on me because I am not what they want me to be? I lost too many friends, you know that I did. I lost too many clans. Being a singer, I lost too many bands. I just couldn't help but spit and spit, keeping repeating too many dams. Gotta let my eyes watch too many ends. Outside was a whole battlefield, so I bring out the chopper. Every night inside me, I quietly fight with myself. My heart pounds, my colleagues stab me in the back while saying that I became a moron after joining a company. Yeah, whatever, I'm an idol. At one time, I hated it, but now I love to get that title. So this is interesting. This really ties into BTS's Idol in the present day. He's talking about his life as an artist and how that made him lose so many things. But he couldn't allow that to stop him. He had to spit and spit. He had to keep on making his music. He had to keep on singing. He had to keep on rapping. And in doing so, he was going to continue to lose things, but he just had to persist if he wanted to achieve the success, if he wanted to achieve his dreams. One time I hated it, but now I love to get that title. When I come out on broadcast, it's all over. I'm different from those who are corrupted. Now I'm completely acknowledged and I just do me. Whatever, I'm an idol or an artist. To be honest, it's not important. Your attention when you look at me, that was all just me. So he's saying at first he didn't like the idea that he was perceived as this idol because he was just trying to be himself. So he wanted to be perceived as himself, not just this title. But now he just owns that title. He accepts that he is an idol. But what got him to being an idol is just him being being him. What you see on the TV, what you see broadcasted is RM. You're not just seeing somebody who's an idol, you're seeing somebody who's being true to himself. And I really like what he does here next. Yeah, I walk properly when I risk my life on top of the beat. But today when I'm singing this song is my second birthday. My buddies, the way you taught me, the confidence you got me was more than Rari, Lambo, Mercy, and Maserati. So I don't know if the my buddies he's talking about is his bandmates or if he's just talking about the fans in general. But he's saying in being himself, he achieved success, and his buddies are what allowed him to see that he was successful, and that success gave him confidence. That meant way more to him than anything money could buy. Then we conclude the song with the chorus, and the end of the chorus says, I know one day at a time the sun gon' shine. So no matter how bad times get, no matter how cold the days are, he knows there will be a new day. There will be another day tomorrow. And that's what allows him to just keep moving forward no matter how bad things get. And that is his awakening. That's what allows him to be confident. He knows that he could fail 100 times and he's still gonna get to where he wants to get. That is the source of his confidence. Now the next song off of this mixtape is entitled Monster. So far in this mixtape we had a lot of introspection. I feel like with a title like Monster we're gonna get even more, especially considering that Monster is part of his name. So let's see what it has in store for us. Man, this guy is slow.
Composer, a star, so they love. 작사랑 가곡처럼 점점 커지네 일이 싹쳤게 될 테니 너도 팬티 지참의 피리 실력제 무무기 걸어 이제 열리네 길이 미리 가도 남 인생 걱정하는 지질이 Oh shit.
He's destroying this.
Don't worry, 난 존나 잘 살지. 오늘은 Singapore, 내일은 Taiwan. I'm so busy popping tags, you so busy shouting next. 이 어쩌겠냐 추석이 성격 같은 새끼들. My rapping for you, my music ain't for everybody. 특히 not for you, bitch. Left side, right side. 못 느끼는 새끼들은 적게라. R to the M, I'm a monster. R to the M, I'm a monster. Left side, right side. 못 느끼는 새끼들은 적게라.
Wow, that was Monster by RM, and what a song that was. That was just straight up rap, and he completely destroyed that track. And the sense I got from the song is you're really getting a full image of that confidence that he's been talking about since the beginning of this mixtape. And the beginning of the song is a real indicator of that. 21, the son that my mother has raised. At 181.68, the length of my body is like a model. A head that's better than all those other people, and an open chest. You'll all slander me with various reasons, but now I'm grown Simba. I'm still rap monster, you speak ill of me. Okay, from the intro to the outro, sweep it all into your ears. So just with those first few lines, he's saying that he is who he is, and he loves who that person is. He's saying he's better than those people who walk out with open chests, which to me means that, you know, people walk with their chests open. It's their way of portraying confidence. He's saying it doesn't matter what they're trying to portray. He feels confident. He feels smart and he feels great in his skin. He knows despite all that, people will slander him. But now that he's grown and he knows who he is, those words will not affect him. Sick of your gimmicks, so get it right. Winning you with your high nose, the giraffe outside the house. For 7 years I walked silently, now the road is all open. Peel it all in advance, this loser who worries about others' lives. Don't worry, I'm living well, I'm so busy popping tags. So here he's talking about somebody who's living a gimmick. I'm not sure if he's talking about other artists or if he's talking about critics. What makes me think he's talking about other artists who criticize him is winning you. So I'm guessing there are some other successful artists who look at RM and critique him for what he portrays. Just off of the few songs that I've heard so far from this mixtape, RM doesn't seem to fit a mold. And when you don't fit a mold, you're different. And difference does tend to scare some people. Some people see it as a threat, some people just don't understand it. And just by nature, some of us are afraid of what we can't understand. And he goes back to the 7 years. He's saying, for 7 years I walked silently. So again, the way I'm seeing this is 7 years ago in 2015. So 2008, he decided to make a change. He decided to be himself. And in doing so, he had to walk alone for a while because people didn't necessarily agree with that decision. People didn't necessarily agree with who he was. But now he's gotten to the point where he's got this confidence. He's more than accepted. He's now loved. He's touring the world, and some people choose to be negative and nag at him, but he's able to drown out all that noise. He's just living life the way he wants to live it. So his rap is going to be accepted by a lot of people because a lot of people do love him, and then there's going to be people who don't like him. And whoever loves his music, and his music is for those people. The people who choose to hate on him, his music just isn't for them. And that's what I got out of Monster. It's a song about who Rap Monster is. RM is RM, and he's gonna continue to be RM despite any negativity that's thrown his way. He loves who he is, and he's gonna continue doing what he loves. Now the next song is song number 5, Throw It. Let's get right into it. And once again, he's just destroying this beat. Whew. Some auto-tune in the background there. You could tell this guy's confident just through what he's doing vocally here, how he's rapping. I gotta say, coming into this mixtape reaction, yes, I saw that this man's name was Rap Monster, and yes, I listened to, a couple of BTS songs which allowed me to see that there is some rap in BTS songs, but I wasn't exactly sure what type of rap sound RM would be going for. I wasn't sure what type of beats he would be rapping over, and I wasn't sure of what type of flows he would have. 5 songs in, I gotta say, I'm really impressed by how creative this man is. He's talked about confidence, and it's one thing to talk about confidence, but he's really displaying his confidence throughout these songs. He's just saying whatever he wants to say. There's no hesitation in how he's delivering these words. He's just allowing his mind to flow on the sheet of paper on which he writes those rhymes, and then he's spitting these rhymes with complete confidence. And the result is what we have here in Rap Monster's mixtape. Now, with respect to this song specifically, I really liked how this started. Where should I go to? Let's go until I've searched through. My heartbeat speeds up. This is a bazooka, I'll eat you up. Now, as he's saying my heartbeat speeds up, we're progressing into a fast beat. The song has a fast pace to it. And with him saying my heartbeat speeds up, I feel like he's saying that his heartbeat is speeding up to match the beat of the song. So essentially he's saying he is this music. And with the first words on the song being, where should I go to? I feel like that's him saying, this is my playground. I'm gonna do whatever I wanna do on this playground. I'm gonna go wherever I want to. So he's trying to be as innovative as possible. So he's taking this fast beat and he's gonna display his skills on it. Then we go into the title of the song, Throw It Away, the new invoice of yours, attitudes and minds of the old. Commit it all to the flames, head, shoulders, until your chest. Put some beatbox on it. Speed is now 100. Everybody, let's go somewhere. Are you ready to throw it all away? Throw away all the things you have, body and heart and everything. So with this song, it feels like he's just saying, let the creative juices flow. This is what I do. I'm not gonna be thinking about what people think or what people are gonna say. I'm not gonna be worrying about what could happen to me or anything like that. I'm just gonna do me and I'm just gonna let myself flow on this song. He's inviting the listener to vibe out to this. And essentially that's what I made of the song. He's showing you that he is able to have his fun. He's using this fast beat to display what he's able to do at a fast pace, and he just absolutely destroys this beat with his flow in doing so. It goes back to playing into this idea of confidence, and he does it so well with this track. Now it's time for the 6th song off of Rap Monster. Goes by the name of Joke. Let's get right into it. Man, that was fast. Feels like he's saying a lot in this song. He's rapping very fast, and I feel like we've built up to this point really well in this mixtape thus far. With the first few songs on this mixtape, he's really giving you some introspection, and then when Monster rolls around, it's this nice change in pace where he's still talking about himself, but he's starting to focus on riding the beat. He's starting to focus on his flow and his delivery. So at this point, it almost seems like it's about him demonstrating his technical rapping abilities. And I feel like this song is the epitome of that. You don't even need to understand what he's saying to notice how strong of a rapper he is. Now, in the very beginning of the song, he goes back to something that he mentioned in Voice. In Voice, he talked about how the bass and the drum is essentially how he was able to find his identity. And here in Joke, he's talking about how bass and drums are the oil that makes him move. So thus far in this mixtape, he's talked about having to escape a reality that wasn't necessarily designed for him, and his method of doing so was through his freedom of expression, and that was found through music. And the direction in which he takes this topic in this song is other people in the music industry. He sees music as a platform that he could use. It's how he's able to connect with the world, and it's what he uses to truly feel like himself. But he sees that some other people are in it for different reasons. Some of the reasons that come to mind for him are fame, girls, money. And because that's what other people's focus is, he feels like that alone makes him a better artist. And then he proceeds on talking about this and talking about the success that he's seeing worldwide. He's talking about his pay in Sweden, Germany, Brazil, Japan. And the reason he's able to see this success is because he feels that his pen is stronger than everybody else's. He's able to dig into a different place because his source of motivation is different. And that's essentially what I made of this song. It's Rap Monster really demonstrating his lyrical capabilities. He's demonstrating wordplay, I'm sure, but again, even without knowing the wordplay, You could tell his lyrical capabilities and his technical prowess just by listening to the way he's flowing over this beat. And one more thing I want to mention before moving on to the next song off of this mixtape is he mentions ASAP again. This time, I think we're able to get confirmation on which ASAP member he's talking about because he says, 6 shots got me feeling like Tupac, okay? These are ASAP's lyrics. I can't remember exactly what song that's from, but I do know that's from the Long Live ASAP album. And it's pretty cool to see him quote ASAP Rocky because, you know, that album was huge around 2013, 2014, I believe, and this mixtape came out in 2015. We're getting a bit of RM's stance on hip-hop in general, but you could tell that he's a fan of the genre, and it's cool to see his appreciation of that. Now let's get into the next song. It's called God Rap. Is that J. Cole's beat? God's Gift? I think so. Alright, so that was God Rap, and here we go back to some introspective topics. RM is talking about how he's comfortable being himself, and I feel like this song is placed very well on the mixtape just because with Voices, Do You, and Awakening, he really took us on this journey where he explained how he discovered himself. He was living a life where he wasn't happy, and through his writing he was able to find his identity. Furthermore, he was more inclined on allowing himself to be unique and him being more comfortable in his own skin under the rationale that he is unique because he is simply being himself. He found a way to push through all the hate. He found a way to push through any negative criticism coming his way. He was able to feel confident and comfortable in his skin. Now, the way this song starts, thank God that I can live, thank God that I can breathe, thank God that I can spit, thank God that I can dream. You know, the very first lines on this album consisted of him not having a dream, and that was off of Voice, and midway through the song he talked about finding his identity through writing. And now it's to the point where he's even saying if you asked him who he would choose to be if he was born again, he would choose himself. If he can't die a legend, it's okay because he's his own legend. In the chorus, he calls himself his own God. He'll deal with whatever ordeals come his way. So what I'm getting from this is at this stage, he doesn't feel like he has to ask for anything, and he doesn't feel like he doesn't have the power to get through anything. He feels that whatever good comes his way is going to be through his hard work, and whatever problems come his way, he has the tools necessary to deal with those problems. So again, what we have in this song is somebody who's built up confidence. He's been on this journey of discovery. Now he feels so comfortable in his skin that he doesn't feel like anything can take him down. And for that reason, he feels like greatness. And the concluding verse to this song is, at one time I aspired to rap just like you. Everyone easily slanders and easily praises like a hypocrite. I wanted to bring cheer to my own reality. Was I only a rapper? While saying I'm different, while saying that my tastes aren't cheap, I rejected almost everything. I thought that was cool. Then or now, the things I want are the same. At that time it was far from my eyes, but now I can see myself, the thing that redeemed me too. The things that pushed me into the distant precipice and everything that's all me foolish humanity. You too can become gods. Hold your head straight and try. So here he seems to be speaking on doubts he had and what he had to do to overcome those doubts. The issue was that his vision was obscured. He wanted the same things that he wants now, but there were certain obstacles that were in his way that made him doubt himself, that made him fail to understand who he was. But all in all, and allowing himself to dig deep enough to truly understand who he was able to understand his limits. The result is that he feels like a mighty being. He feels that his ability to rap on a beat like this is an ability that he gained through hard work, and through that also came his ability to express himself, and thus his ability to further understand himself as time progresses. And that's what I made of God rap. Now let's go into the next song. It goes by the name of Rush, and it's got Chris Calico on it. I talked about how, as a new listener, I could already tell that RM is a fan of the rap game. We first kind of got glimpses at that through his mentions of A$AP Rocky. There was one mention of Kanye, and now on that previous song, he was rapping on a J. Cole beat. Now he's got Chris Calico on a song. I like Chris Calico a lot. He's one of Tech N9ne's homies. He's got great lyrical abilities. So let's see what these two can do on a song. Alright, so that was Rush. You have Chris Calico on the hook of the song. He's saying, I should be the biggest star in the world. I should be hearing Oppa from every girl. Gotta put a rush on it. God help me put a rush on it. But then we have a bit of a contrast to what he just said there, saying, you could be the biggest star in the world. No matter one day you're going to leave the world. Trying to put a rush on it. God, don't let me put a rush on it. So what I'm getting out of this is they're talking about their time on the planet, and they feel like their abilities should make them the best in the world. The fact that they don't feel like they have everything they deserve, it makes them feel like they need to be living more in the fast lane in order to achieve and receive more of the things they want. But then they realize, I could achieve all these things, I could have all of these things, but I am not eternal and my time on this planet is limited. So why bother trying to rush anything? Just enjoy the ride through life and cherish things as they come to you. And that's pretty much the theme for the whole song. You have them talking about the things they want, and RM comes in saying, I'm used to my moderation. So he's learned to control himself a little bit and not really just force himself to go and get as much as possible. He's focused on ensuring that he's happy before he's thinking about getting anything else, because at the end of the day you could have everything you want in life, but it won't mean anything if you're not happy. So he's just trying to enjoy this whole voyage through life. And that's what I think of Rush. It's just about remembering not to rush through life. It's about taking your time. Based on what RM has talked about throughout the album, it's about self-discovery, self-fulfillment, and enjoying the process. Now the next song on the album is song number 9, goes by the name of Life. Let's get right into it.
세상을 볼 수 있게 된 대가로 방탄 저기도 가로등도 든
Nice chorus. Beautiful vocals. Alright, so that was Life, and with the last song before Life, Rush, we were kind of pulled back into that introspective side of RM's music. Now the way he starts this song, he says, pulled in just one glass of soju and felt it. So this is his way of explaining that he's gonna be coming from an honest perspective. It's just a take on the idea that the drunk never lie. Basically all those facades we put up to demonstrate a methodically fabricated persona, they're all put aside and our true selves are revealed. So that's the perspective he's gonna be coming from in this song. He's gonna be letting all his feelings come out. Two of the topics he talks about in this song include loneliness and being wrong. With loneliness, he begins by saying, living is consecutively awareness and loneliness, whether you have many people around you or not. The little me inside myself was always lonely. Could it be because people, until they die, have no moments of not being lonely? Even if our surroundings are boisterous, it's necessary to seek moments to be alone. So he prefaces his idea by saying that it's not going to be about literally being around a lot of people or literally being alone. He's saying whether he had a lot of people around him or not, he was still feeling lonely. And that's when he goes into this idea of living inside danger. So I think what he's trying to get at is when you're alone, you're worrying about anything that can happen. Whereas when you're around a crowd, either you seek solace in the fact that you have some protection in being around people, or you feel even more alone because you feel like you don't relate with your surroundings. And that's where the line where he's saying it's necessary to seek a moment to be alone, it feels like he's talking about the fact that sometimes you need to choose to be alone to really understand who you are. And that's where that aspect of awareness comes in, or else you're just living life in loneliness and the awareness aspect just isn't there, and thus you are not truly living. He then talks about the fact that we are not eternal, and that is what makes life beautiful. Once you accept this reality, you're able to appreciate everything just a little more. And one of the lines he uses to explain this is, even light is treasured more when there's darkness. The sunshine appears after we've passed through the storm. So, you can have a week of sunny days, and at a certain point, it's diminishing returns. You might have enjoyed that first sunny day, maybe the second and the third, but after a few of them, you start taking it for granted. And the next time you truly appreciate that sunshine is going to be after, you go through some darkness, or after there's a storm or something. You're really looking forward to that next sunny day. And that seems to be the metaphor he's going for with life in general. You can't protect everything to the point where you just have everything all the time. Things and people are going to come and go from your life. You're going to have good times, you're going to have bad times, you're going to have pleasure, you're going to have pain. His point seems to be you can't just allow yourself to be taken in whatever direction life is taking you. You have to understand that there's going to be good and bad. And that understanding is going to come through your own introspection. And once you've reached that level of awareness, you're going to learn to appreciate the good times, and you're also going to learn that the bad times will pass. So overall, you gain a deeper appreciation for life. Then he takes this a step further in saying, we're trying to be bright but always dark. We still don't know if we've lived to the extent that we can. The journey to awareness is a lifelong journey. There's never going to be a point where you're just gonna say, this is it, I fully understand everything. And for that reason, we're always seeking more. We always want to be right so as to ensure that we're on the right path, but we're always running into roadblocks. And the main reason for that is just we will never have all the information we possibly can have. There's always going to be new information coming in that's going to alter our mindset on something. So you could accomplish A, B, and C based on a certain mindset. Then by the time you reach C, you get some new information that would have helped you at point A. So now you're thinking, oh, should I have done something differently at point A? And what path would that have led me down? I truly feel like I made a wrong decision there. So we're always trying to do the best we can with the information we have, but that just never seems to be enough because new information always seems to come at a later time. One way or another, mistakes are going to be made. And for that reason, no matter how aware we are, we will always wonder if we've lived to our fullest and accomplished everything we possibly could. I think it is a general feeling, you know, I think a lot of people think, oh man, if I only knew then what I know now. But unfortunately, that's just not how life works. You make a decision and you have to live with that decision. And you have to come to accept that errors will be made. Now, following this section of introspection, we're going into a different section where he's going to be talking about people around him. He says, the people I thought were on my side can change and become vicious. At times we're right. I don't know if there will be a time when it doesn't seem wrong, but the thing that we all learned at some point was how to step on someone, to catch them, to erase them, to hate them. Forget peace and love. I know that's the natural enemy of success. So, you know, we were just talking about looking back at your life and looking back at what different courses of actions could have led to different outcomes which may have been better for you at a certain point in time. And the thing that causes those thoughts are changes that occur over time. You have to consider that if you're getting new information, if you now have new forms of logic, that means other people also have that going on for them. And naturally, that means people change. So you could have people who are friendly completely turn their back on you down the road. And this goes back to the idea of being lonely. And to further that point, he feels that in order to achieve success, the world teaches us some individualistic traits. The ones he lists include stepping on someone, so using someone as a stepping stone. So what I'm getting out of this is, you know, when he started his journey towards becoming an artist, he received a lot of criticism. And that criticism was coming from a place where people just didn't believe in him. They just saw this idea of what success is, and being an artist didn't fit that description. Now he's seeing that all that criticism just came from a place where people were trying to feel better about themselves. They needed to convince themselves that what they were doing was the right thing to do. So if success is measured through comparisons, that means peace, love, and success cannot coexist. And then he takes the song into this section about perspective. Were we born to die or were we born to live? And he uses two different vocals to really contrast these ideas. He's got his voice and then he's got a deeper voice that sounds evil to say the more negative things. And I feel like that just fits very well with the theme of this song. It's about this back and forth and the fact that there is no true answer to what is right. So the conclusion is we're all left wondering, and our different journeys provide us with different information, and this constant flow of new information is what leaves us wondering whether we had taken the right course of action or not. That's what I made of life. Now the next song off of the mixtape is called Drifting.
살아가는 채 알지 못했었지 행복을 위해서 살아간다는데 어른들은 말 따위 들리지 않아 행복하자 행복하자 입에 매일 달고 살아도 Lost in life Lost in you Lost in life Lost in life Lost in you Lost in you 누구와 있어도 너만큼은 외롭잖아 나 태어나버렸단 게 두려워 죽음은 너무 아파 현실은 너무 막막하고 끝없이 필요해 끝없이 필요해 끝없이 필요해 끝없이 필요해 Lost in life Lost in life Lost in you Lost in you Lost in you Lost in you Lost in you
Alright, so that was Drifting, and beautiful melodies in that song, beautiful vocals. I really like the progression we have from Life to Drifting. With Life, RM was really talking about some of the issues he was seeing with life, and one of those issues included the fact that there's no real answers, the fact that we're on this constant search for truth, but there seemingly is no truth, and our desire for finding truth also ends up leaving us lonely. Now in this song, Drifting, he's singing in more of a mellow manner, and it really comes off as if he's really exhausted from all of the thinking. And this fits what he's talking about in the song. He's saying, what are we living for? We couldn't know. They say that we're living for happiness, but what is that? The things that we can't know or see, seems like there are too many of that in the world. We don't hear the words of adults saying, as time passes, we would realize. So if we're constantly searching for the truth, and there is no apparent truth because there's too many things we can't know or see, how could we ever truly be happy? We're searching for something that cannot be found. And I like this idea he says here, we don't hear the words of adults saying, as time passes, we would realize. So, they say the older you get, the wiser you get, because you've lived through different experiences and you've gained more insight on life and how it works. For that reason, there's so much to learn from someone who is older than you, who's been through more than you. But when you're younger, it's harder to take whatever advice that they're providing you with because you haven't lived in their shoes. So you haven't experienced what they have experienced. And the consequence is, well, you're just going to tell yourself that you're going to figure it out on your own. Some point down the road, you find that advice that individual provided you with was actually very helpful advice, and you not using that advice ended up being a bit of a waste of time. And it's really at moments like that you start telling yourself, oh man, I should have really done this way. And then you start wondering, what else did you not consider when you were making your actions throughout time? And that sets up the theme for the song, Drifting. He's drifting through life. He doesn't know if he started from a point where he was lost, or if he lost his way through his actions through lack of consideration. He doesn't know what his purpose is. He doesn't know what he's trying to accomplish. There's endless amounts of variables in the world, and he's so focused on making the right decisions that he just feels like it'll be a constant struggle to really achieve what he has in mind. So he doesn't know what to do, he doesn't know how to act, and that leaves him feeling lost in life. Now this is a very different message from what we were getting in the earlier stages of this mixtape. He was really talking from a stance of confidence. Now it feels like we're digging into RM's soul. He's really giving us a piece of his mind. He feels like he's above the criticism that's coming his way, but regardless of how he feels about that, there's still a void in his heart, and it comes from the fact that he doesn't know what his purpose is. This possibly came from the realization that these people who are criticizing don't know what their meaning is neither, and they're trying to create meaning through putting him down, making themselves feel like they're making the right decisions in life. They're convincing themselves of this at his expense. RM's understanding of that situation has got him wondering, what are we trying to achieve in life? And that's what I got out of Drifting. And now the next song off of the mixtape is the last song on the mixtape, and it features BTS. With the types of songs we've been getting on this mixtape, I'm really curious to see what the full band brings to it. I want to see how they can conclude this mixtape in a cohesive manner. The song is called I Believe. Let's get right into it.
Positive negativity. 세상과 날 이끄는 건 결국 그 두 놈의 synergy. Yeah, I think about how do we music passion 더 밖에란다고 들고 fashion. 어린 척하는 모습이 mom you kiss me. 너도 널 기대 줄 수 있는 의미만 있게 모두 죽음을 향해 다 다른 듯 같은 길. 어차피 우리 전부 시간의 손바닥 위에서 넌 날 잊기보다 매였어. 내가 어디 있어도 내가 나를 지켜줘. I believe. 쉽게 말하는 게 아니고 어차피 그쪽에 네 심장과 더 가까우니까 구름 가릴 수 있어도 심장 박동 숨길 수 없지 You can hide your Facebook but you can hide your heartbeat It's more life to live and more heart to give Who the fuck don't want to we got no life so man 어디 있어도 무엇을 지켜줘 I believe I believe yeah 내가 어디 있어도 무엇을 하더라도 I believe 내가 어디 있어도 내가 나를 지켜줘 I believe yeah.
So that was I Believe, the last song off of Rat Monster, the mixtape. Now, with the way the last song ended, Drifting, I feel like RM's mindset was to not allow that to be the concluding point of this mixtape. He says an interesting line somewhere in the earlier verse of the song. He says, bad thoughts and pessimistic realizations, that'll seem like it's right, but you're really just erasing your flavor. So while everything he said in Drifting was true and came from a very honest place, he does want to let the listener know that it's not all negative. So he ends the album on a more optimistic note. And I feel like the vocals, especially on the hook, it really does a great job of accentuating this idea. It has this more positive and hopeful outlook. Let's get into the subject matter. I believe in me, I believe in myself. Even as time passes, I'll be living in myself. Believe my faith, believe my rap. I believe my damn voice will one day be spread. Even if I've had times where I question my dream or my existence itself. So now the dream, this is something that he didn't even have at the earlier stages. You know, in Voice, he talked about not having a dream. He found his dream through music or through writing. And he's saying his existence itself. This is something he talked about at length in Drifting. He had found his dream, but that came with some consequences. And the consequences included having people turn their back on him. And facing the criticisms that he faced, he started realizing the extents to which people will go to just to feel fulfilled. And because of this, he started feeling lonely. He started wondering what was the point to this all. So now he builds upon this saying, you know, despite all that, I've never really questioned my choice of making music. If anything, that's the one thing that is real to him. If you're concerned with rankings, I'm number one. How you feel? Do you believe that you're your own master? Are you matching well on the seesaw between reason and sense? You want to become everything, a leader for yourself, but you have to believe in yourself, your own leader. Bad thoughts and pessimistic realizations, that'll seem like it's right, but you're really erasing your flavor. We can only truly be used to it when we're looking outward. I have the Milky Way inside of me, but no matter what I am or what I do, I believe. Wherever I am, I will protect myself. I believe. So once more, he's talking about the importance of understanding yourself. I believe it was in Life he talked about the importance of breaking away from the noise and really just taking time to think about yourself, think about what you want, think about what you need, and think about what you want to accomplish for yourself. And in doing so, he's saying that you become everything. You become a leader for yourself. Because at that point in time, you're no longer looking outwards for answers for what's best for you. You start learning about where to look within yourself for those answers. And because of that, he believes in himself and in his ability to figure things out. So he trusts that whatever situation he is in, he will find a solution and he will be able to protect himself. He will never be in a situation where he will be helpless. And then we go into the next verse. He says, I believe in love. I believe in hope. Believe in thoughts that I got while living this life. I'm sometimes ordinary. What is a guy like me? At times I seem a lot like an angel or like a devil. Everything can coexist, positive and negative. The thing that guides me and this world is ultimately those two's synergy. All wanderings related to existence, sometimes until they're chaotic. Even those moments now seem lovable. If you're confused about what is right and what is wrong, what makes me want to live again, think about it. This music, passion, other beautiful things besides those, fashion. Anticipate yourself making the meaning that lets you rest. Everyone is going to die, same meaning, different road. Anyway, we are all on the palm of time. Rather than forget myself, I believe. He begins this verse talking about what he believes in, and it's these positive things. But then he also works in the negativity. And he talks about the fact that regardless of that negativity existing, it doesn't mean that the positivity just has to go away. The negatives and positives are just part of reality. And now the fact that he understands that, it's allowed him to learn to take the good and the bad. And then by the end of the verse where he's saying, if you're confused about what is right and what is wrong, he has alluded to the blurred lines between right and wrong. With there being no absolute truth, there is no way of knowing what is actually right or wrong. And that could put you in a negative mindset. But he says what he uses to keep himself in a positive mindset mindset are the things that let him rest. And in the first song of this mixtape, he talked about the success he saw prior to music, and he talked about how despite that success, he wasn't able to rest easy. Music is what allowed him to discover his identity, and in turn, music is what allowed him to rest. He started to feel more relaxed doing something he actually wanted to do. The one thing we could be certain of is that our time on this planet is not forever. So it's the same conclusion for everyone, but it's different paths towards that conclusion. So you have to choose how you're going to spend that time. So you have to do things that mean a lot to you. And for him, that includes things such as music and fashion. And he suggests to anyone who's listening to this that they should try and figure out what their passion is. Instead of looking outside for answers as to what you should be doing, look within yourself and figure out what you want to do. And that is the difference between forgetting yourself and believing in yourself. And that does it for I Believe, the last song off of Rap Monster, the mixtape. And my concluding thoughts on this mixtape, I thought it was really well put together. It does a great job of displaying RM's lyrical abilities, does a great job of highlighting his technical rapping abilities. The songs are laid out in a manner that really carries a strong narrative, and that narrative starts with him explaining why he turned to music in the first place and why music holds such importance in his life. And I feel like the first 3 songs are really designed to establish that narrative, and then by the time Monster rolls around and Throwaway, Joke, God Rap, those songs are a nice mix of him really displaying that rapping ability while maintaining lyricism, but maybe breaking away a little bit from the narrative just to show you what the result of his hard work is. Then we roll into song number 8, where he's talking about rushing through life and maybe rushing to achieve things and the problems that can cause. And then that's where we shift back into this introspective side of RM, and he goes into Life, which is an extremely introspective song where he's talking about the meaning of life and not understanding what it is. And this perspective is coming from someone who's feeling isolated. And by this point in the mixtape, he has really firmly established why he feels isolated. And this sets up the stage really nicely for Drift. And then the last song on the album, he finds a way to take all of that and demonstrate why he's still optimistic despite what he's saying about feeling lonely. So I thought that was all really well thought out, and what we have is a mixtape that delivers a strong message front to back. And that's what I made of the mixtape. You guys let me know what you thought. I will be reacting to RM's second mixtape, so if you enjoyed this reaction, be on the lookout for that. And also, if you like this reaction, please leave a thumbs up. I always appreciate the support, and I will see you all next time. Have a great day, y'all.